Hey, this is Eli with a little update on the food forest here in Jacksonville, Florida. We are in Southside, Jacksonville, Florida, which is in the urban core, about 12 miles inland from the ocean. We've created a food forest. We're going on to 4 years. There's over 55 varieties of fruit trees planted in this green mess you see behind me. There's lots of plants that are purposely planted for biomass production, and that's what this video is kind of about. We're going to go in and cut some things down and mulch some things. We call it chop and drop in the permaculture world. There's lots of edibles that you're looking at right now behind me as well. Moringa trees are the tallest ones you see, and all parts of the tree are edible. Just different crops, and a lot of it was designed in to actually produce fertility, because that's what we're after here. We're after building soil. We want plants that grow quick. We can cut them and they grow right back. We cut them again and we just keep mulching that stuff back, and we build soil, and we've done a pretty good job at it. Last time we filmed, it was last spring, and the entire summer and spring has passed and we're into the autumn, and this is a good time to do some fall maintenance. So we've been really working on that, creating soil, and we're going to get in here and do some chopping and dropping to show you what that looks like. So we're gonna work on this moringa tree that you just saw. It's really tall and really skinny, and it probably should have been pruned earlier on in the season, and then it would have grown a little bit more bushy, but it doesn't matter. We can cut it down now, and we can harvest the greens to eat, but we probably will just mulch them because we have plenty of moringa everywhere. So we're probably just gonna mulch this one and not really harvest any leaves. But we'll harvest the whole entire tree for our fruit trees to eat and not us, because our fruit trees need food as well.
And they have a growth factor hormone in them, so giving it back to our food forest hopefully will give it added minerals and a little bit of a punch to help everything grow in this winter season. So this is about good. We cut it a little bit above the node, a bud. There you go. Then we just break off branches really easily.
So these are the moringa leaves, and you can eat them. They have kind of a mustardy flavor about them. But we're gonna mulch them. We have plenty of this stuff around. What we do is we'll take the tree, and moringa is a really soft kind of tree. Makes you feel like Superman when you're breaking it into pieces.
Superwoman too.
Or Superwoman. So you can see the front here. We'll just break it down into little pieces. This is a strawberry guava, or no, pineapple guava. And there's sweet potatoes growing at the bottom of it. And we could just throw this right on top of the sweet potatoes because their season's about to end anyway. So we can mulch this back, and then you can end up still digging up the potatoes.
And these bigger pieces are also good just to stick them right in the ground. And moringa has, like we were saying earlier, it has this growth hormone in it, and it just starts to grow really easily, even from such a big cutting. Yeah, so I mean, with moringa, you don't have to put it very far in the ground actually, but probably about a foot, and try and bury 2 nodes, and you should have really good success. They work much better with a bigger piece than little pieces for moringa actually.
And it doesn't have to be in tiny little pieces, but the smaller you chop it up, the quicker it will break down. The tree doesn't care either way. I look at it as long-term fertility throughout the winter, and all of this will be converted into humus, which this pineapple guava can actually use for nutrition. So it's a good time to do it is in the fall, so it rots down over the winter for a spring flush. Yeah, and you could see this is a decent bit of mulch, but we'll even go thicker on certain fruit trees. Certain trees need more nutrition than other trees. This is another tree that we planted here specifically to chop down seasonally. It's called Acacia pendula, and it's about to bloom, and I really like its flowers, so it's a bummer we have to cut some of it. But this tree right here is a nectarine tree. You can barely see it. And the nectarine tree needs some fertilizer, so we've planted this next to the tree for a couple of reasons: to cut it and mulch it, and also this tree produces nitrogen. It pulls it out of the atmosphere and it puts it in the root zone with an association with some bacteria that's in the soil to actually release nitrogen. So when we cut this tree, it's going to actually release nitrogen into the soil to where this nectarine tree can actually get it. And at the same time, we're going to be adding more organic material around this tree, which is going to turn into fertilizer for this tree.
Okay, so I do a little undercut first to make it easier at the very end for when the branch is falling off. And then we'll just cut it right here. It's a little harder than the moringa, but you just keep going.
So we're just going to cut this thing up into little pieces with a machete. And it's nothing hard. A few swipes, anyone can really do this. There's all kinds of stuff growing here. There's goji berries and sweet potato on the ground as a ground cover. There's marigold, Mexican marigold. There's African blue basil, which is an edible crop, very aromatic. And what we're going to do is, this is a black locust tree, which is another type of nitrogen fixer, but we're going to let it get a little bit bigger before we start chopping on it. It's a little bit slower growing of a tree, and that's a long-term nitrogen fixer, so that'll live in the food forest for many, many years.
This is the Senna alata, the candlestick cassia, also a nitrogen fixer. There's a little dispute about that.
So they say.
It is a leguminous plant. And again, we're going to cut it just a little bit above the node, because that's where roots come out, and it's also where buds and leaves form.
And if it stays warm this winter, which it normally does in Northeast Florida, although we can have some pretty cold winters, if it stays warm, this can regrow again. We could cut it even again and get even more biomass production out of this plant.
As you can see, it's some new growth.
Yeah, so these guys work for us, and we love these plants, and the fruit trees next door absolutely love these plants. So
you cut just above the node and at a slight angle, so when it rains, it's not sitting on top of the plant. This one's really easy for the sickle to handle. You just knock off the branches. Woo. Like that, and don't hit anybody. And you always leave a little air in there. You don't put anything right up against the trunk.
This nectarine tree that we were just mulching, actually, he was encased. I mean, the canopy was actually surrounding him, so he wasn't getting a great deal of sunlight, which is okay in the heat of the summer. Here in Northeast Florida, it's almost subtropical in the summer. It's very hot, and the trees actually like a little bit of shade, like dappled light is the best. So now that it's autumn and the temperatures are cooling off, we want this thing to get more sun, so we'll go in here and we'll clean up the canopy around it so the light shines in and this tree will grow out of it.
This is the Senna alata, or candlestick cassia, that we chopped a little bit over by the nectarine tree. And we cut this down maybe a month ago, or a little bit longer even. And as you can see, the new growth is coming back already. And down here, you can see this is what's going to happen to what we chopped and dropped at the other place. It's going to turn into this brown, woody, carbonaceous mulch. And this breaks down into really good soil. We're not just lucky, we create this abundance. Look at that. Rich, rich soil. After this was chopped and dropped to build the soil, it also let in a lot of sunlight. And so we're able to plant some annual vegetable crops like the tomato and basil. We have some collards starting down here too. This is a little Asian pear that's getting started as well. So we're just stacking plants and speeding up succession. So we'll have a forest in 10 years instead of 150.
Once again, we're in an area of the garden that needs a little bit of maintenance, a little bit of chopping and dropping. This is a fruit tree behind me. It's a honey bell orange. It's only I think it's year 4 on this orange tree, going into the 4th year, and it's got fruit all over it. Honey bell delicious oranges. But the main part of this little segment is chopping and dropping, so we're going to prune that tree back a little bit And just because it's encroaching upon the citrus tree, and we'll throw that at the base of the citrus tree. You know, we just want to inspire everyone to maybe, you know, learn more about permaculture, watch a bunch of videos on the YouTube. There's tons of good information on there. Bill Mollison, Jeff Lawton, look up these people and learn from them, and you can have your own food forest and, you know, and not be so dependent on the local, you know, I mean, the food supply in this country is so shaky. And, you know, to be able to produce some of your own enzyme, nutrient dense, we're talking about nutrient dense food here, which relates to health. So the better quality food that you eat that's locally grown, the healthier you're going to be. It's pretty amazing. After about 3.5 to 4 years, you really see things start to take off. It's a little bit of work the first year or two, and then things get easier and easier, and you learn more too. You make a lot of mistakes, and learning.
The key is there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's not like every year is the same and the same hard work and the same weeds, and you don't want to go out there anymore because it's just more of the same. So with permaculture, your food system keeps growing, it keeps maturing. It's like your baby grows up and it's finally able to take care of itself.
And just to be able to support yourself with that nutrient dense food, it's key for everything. You know, healthcare is a big issue, and you know,
This is your healthcare.
This is your healthcare. You created a giant biofilter to clean toxins out of the environment, and you know, put them back into carbon pathways in the soil and store them there to where, you know, these things aren't a problem anymore. Anyone can do this, and we can teach you how to do it. You can watch more videos about how to do this, and you know, we wish you the best of luck. Please plant a food forest.
All the solutions are in the garden.